The Losers Club has the Shine. This theory argues that the losers share the same kind of psychic awareness seen in The Shining. Each member seems able to sense Pennywise's presence long before he appears, as if tuned into a hidden frequency only they can hear. Their shared visions, like the haunting image of the deadlights or the instinctive understanding that the clown feeds on fear, feel too connected to be coincidence. Analysts point out that the group's unity acts like a magnifier for this ability. When they're together, their shine strengthens, letting them see through Pennywise's illusions. The idea deepens when you remember that Stephen King's universe often links characters by psychic threads. Danny Torrance can communicate without words, and Dick Halloran literally mentions the Shine in both The Shining and It. That overlap suggests a shared cosmic power across King's worlds. In It, Chapter 2, the adults' memories return like psychic echoes, reinforcing that it was metaphysical. Fans love the thought that the losers' courage was a literal light inside them, one powerful enough to fight an ancient evil. Maybe that's why Pennywise fears them, not for what they do, but for what they are. The parents of Derry are complicit. This theory claims that the adults of Derry don't just ignore Pennywise, they enable him. Throughout the story, every time something awful happens, the grown-ups look away. When Georgie vanishes, no one truly investigates. When blood spills from Beverly's sink, her father can't even see it. It's as if the town's adults are under a spell, their blindness acting like protection for the monster beneath them. Scholars have even argued that Pennywise is a reflection of Derry itself, feeding off a culture that already neglects its children. Some fans take it further, suggesting the adults once made a silent bargain. Ignore the horror and you'll survive. Decades of murders go unchallenged and the police call them accidents, while churches, schools, and parents all seem paralyzed. It's almost like the town's evil runs in its bloodline, passed from one generation to the next. The kids are the only ones who can see the truth because they haven't yet accepted Derry's quiet pact of denial. Pennywise might be the predator, but the town is his partner, maintaining his cover through collective silence. Whether that's magic, fear, or a curse, the result's the same. The grown-ups protect Pennywise simply by pretending he's not there. By the way, if you guys like movie content like this, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, Pennywise's balloons trap the souls of his victims. This theory claims that those bright red balloons floating through Derry are literal prisons for the spirits of the dead. Each time a child disappears, a balloon seems to mark the spot, drifting like a scarlet signal that something has been taken. The color itself ties directly to blood, but fans say it's more than symbolism. They believe the balloons contain the essence of Pennywise's victims, sealed inside the same way he hides his true form behind a clown's face. The deadlights, his otherworldly core, are described as a swirling mass of souls or energy, and the balloons appear whenever the deadlights are near. Some have pointed out that the number of balloons floating in the sewer scenes could represent the number of children already lost to him. The idea that he creates thousands of balloons aligns with the notion that he's collected thousands of souls over centuries. Georgie's balloon is often cited as the first visible clue, a red warning that what floats is the trapped consciousness of the innocent. In this theory, every balloon drifting through Derry whispers the echoes of those devoured, a chilling reminder that nothing under Pennywise's control ever truly rests. Bill Denbrough is based on Stephen King. This theory connects the fictional writer from Derry to the real-life writer from Maine, suggesting Bill is essentially King's mirror inside his own story. Bill's journey from a traumatized boy into a best-selling novelist feels almost autobiographical when compared to King's life. Both are from small-town Maine, both channel fear into fiction, and both confront darkness through storytelling. Bill's stutter, a central part of his identity, symbolizes the struggle to find his voice, a theme King has openly written about when describing his own early challenges with speech and confidence. Fans point out that Bill's writing often deals with monsters and buried childhood memories, exactly like King's broader catalog. It's also notable that Bill is the character who literally writes the story of It within the book, blurring the line between author and creation. King is known for inserting versions of himself into his work, novelists, screenwriters, and storytellers haunted by their imagination. In this theory, Pennywise becomes a stand-in for the horrors King faces on the page, while Bill is the storyteller trying to control them. Every time Bill picks up his pen, it's as if King's doing the same, writing himself into the nightmare to make sense of the evil he created. Richie and Pennywise have a special connection. Fans point out that the clown seems to treat Richie differently from the rest of the losers, almost as if there's a private joke between them. While others face Pennywise early, Richie doesn't get his turn until the well house scene, where his fear of clowns explodes into something far more personal. The room filled with clown dolls, the missing poster with his face, and the coffin labeled with his name all feel tailored for him. When Pennywise leaps out and says beep beep Richie, it's more than a scare. It's recognition. Their shared humor, the taunts, and even the timing of the attack make it seem like the two understand each other in a twisted way. Some believe Richie's own fear of clowns helped shape Pennywise's form in the first place, like he manifested the monster's face from his imagination. Others suggest Pennywise sees something familiar in Richie, a performer hiding behind jokes, a clown of a different kind. The theory even toys with the idea that Pennywise might have left a part of himself in Richie, explaining his lingering fear and guilt as an adult. Whatever it is, their bond feels charged, like two reflections laughing at each other from opposite sides of the dark. Pennywise was once a real person. This theory builds on the name Robert Bob Gray, which the creature uses when speaking in human terms. In the novel, it introduces itself as Bob Gray, hinting that this identity might have belonged to someone who actually lived. The 2019 film leans into that idea when Mrs. Kirsch shows old photos of her father, Robert Gray, standing beside a circus cart labeled The Great Pennywise. That single image sparked endless debate, with fans suggesting that a real clown once roamed Derry before being overtaken by the ancient entity. Some believe it needed a physical host to anchor itself in the human world, and Bob Gray, already a performer known for drawing children, was the perfect vessel. Others say the monster simply adopted his likeness after consuming him, blending myth with memory until the town forgot where one ended and the other began. The recurring use of the name across the novel, films, and even the upcoming Welcome to Derry series keeps the mystery alive. Whether Bob Gray was a man who became a monster or a monster pretending to be a man, the idea adds a chilling realism to Pennywise's legend, turning an otherworldly demon into something born of flesh and history, Maturin the turtle. This theory explores how the ancient cosmic turtle quietly shapes the events in both hit movies and the Welcome to Derry prequel show. In Stephen King's universe, Maturin represents creation, balance, and goodness, the direct opposite of Pennywise, who embodies chaos and destruction. In the original novel, Bill Denbrough actually communicates with Maturin during the ritual of Chud, where the turtle guides him toward defeating it. While the recent films left out that metaphysical exchange, they hid clear nods to Maturin everywhere. The Lego turtle in Georgie's room, the turtle wallpaper, and the small turtle spotted at the quarry when the losers first swim. Fans noticed that the Welcome to Derry series takes that symbolism even further. Viewers spotted a turtle costume at the school, a turtle charm on Lily's bracelet, and multiple background props shaped like shells, all subtle reminders that something larger and protective exists in Derry's darkness. Fans argue these Easter eggs confirm Maturin's presence, hinting that his influence stretches across timelines even before the losers are born. Because Maturin also appears in the Dark Tower as one of the guardians of existence, his presence ties the show into King's broader multiverse. Every turtle image then becomes more than a wink, it's proof the light is still watching over Derry. Pennywise infects the water supply. This theory imagines Derry's evil running straight through its pipes. Pennywise lives deep in the sewers beneath the town, the same place where its drinking water flows, so fans believe his influence literally seeps into every faucet and drain. Articles have described him as a drop of poison in a glass of water, suggesting his presence contaminates the entire town on a microscopic spiritual level. Fans often compare his essence to spores drifting through the water system, spreading like an infection that seeps into every home. That would explain why Derry's adults act so strangely detached, blind to horror around them. They might already be under his influence without realizing it. Some fans even notes that the sewers are his perfect hunting ground, a hidden highway connecting every corner of the town. The idea turns the water itself into a delivery system for Pennywise's fear, flowing into bathtubs, sprinklers, and glasses of tap water, binding Derry citizens to him through something as simple as a drink. Fans say that's why the evil never really leaves. Even after Pennywise is defeated, the town's veins are still tainted. Every drop from those pipes could carry a trace of him, waiting patiently underground for the next cycle to begin. 27 years. The cycle defines everything about Pennywise's existence and the story surrounding him. In Stephen King's novel, the creature sleeps beneath Derry for roughly 27 years before waking to feed, always returning with death and chaos. Each awakening lines up with some catastrophe: the vanished settlers of the 1740s, the ironworks explosion in 1906, the Bradley Gang massacre decades later. This repetition is ritual. Pennywise's hunger follows a pattern like a cosmic heartbeat, each pulse echoing through generations. The number itself became mythic, tying the loser's childhood battle to their adult return 27 years later, forcing them to confront the same evil as different people. It's a cruel symmetry: trauma forgotten, then reborn. Some readers see the cycle as more than a feeding schedule. It's Derry's curse, a rhythm of collective denial and rebirth that mirrors how real towns bury their sins until history repeats itself. The films lock this timing in stone, turning it into a countdown that fuels the entire narrative. When Mike Hanlon calls the group back, it's because the clock has struck 27 again, and the monster is awake. The number becomes a reminder that fear never truly dies. It just hibernates, waiting for the next generation to remember what everyone else chose to forget. Pennywise and the Apocalypse. This theory claims that Pennywise was building toward the end of the world. Fans link his 27-year feeding cycle to the Mayan calendar's prediction of global destruction in 2012, suggesting that his next awakening after the Losers Club's battle in the late 80s would have lined up perfectly with that date. The Mayans believed the world would reset at the end of the 13th Baktun, and believers of this theory say Pennywise could have been the catalyst, feeding for centuries until he reached full strength. Each time he awakens, the body count grows, and Derry's devastation feels bigger, almost as if his influence is spreading beyond its borders. Critics list this idea outright, noting that by 2012, Pennywise could have become powerful enough to consume the entire planet's fear, not just a single town's. The cyclical pattern of awakening mirrors an apocalyptic countdown, a cosmic timer ticking toward collapse. His existence outside time and space makes the idea even creepier. If the losers hadn't stopped him, maybe that 2012 prophecy wouldn't have been a myth at all. The thought that a shape-shifting clown from Maine might have caused the end of humanity feels absurd, but terrifyingly plausible within King's universe. Pennywise exists in Stranger Things. The theory starts with Bob Newby's childhood story about Mr. Baldo, a creepy clown who offered him a balloon, exactly the way Pennywise lures kids in Derry. Fans point out that Bob's family was from Maine, which is the same state where Pennywise's town exists, so that little detail already blurs the line between both worlds. The tone of Bob's memory feels more like a recovered trauma than a simple nightmare, which fits perfectly with Pennywise's pattern of haunting kids and then vanishing from memory. Stranger Things also takes heavy inspiration from Stephen King's work, something the Duffer Brothers have openly admitted, and it is the most obvious reference point. Both stories center around kids fighting otherworldly monsters that prey on fear, and both use small-town settings hiding massive supernatural secrets. Some even note that the Upside Down mirrors Pennywise's dimension, the place he retreats to between cycles. The shared imagery of flickering lights, sewers, and psychic kids makes the idea even stronger. It's possible that the forces attacking Hawkins and the creature feeding on Derry are born from the same cosmic darkness King wrote about. Maybe Mr. Baldo wasn't a dream at all, but an early encounter with Pennywise himself, hiding behind another face in another town. Pennywise and the Crimson King are the same entity. This theory ties Stephen King's two most powerful villains together as one cosmic being wearing different faces. Both are described as trans-dimensional demons born outside reality, thriving on fear, chaos, and despair. The Crimson King rules from the shadows of the Dark Tower, feeding on destruction and twisting worlds apart, while Pennywise hides in the sewers of Derry, feeding on terror and devouring children. Fans point out their matching traits. Each shapeshifts into monstrous, spider-like forms. Each radiates the same eerie deadlights, and both speak from the void beyond creation. The theory claims they may not just be connected, but identical, with Pennywise acting as a localized form of the Crimson King, a fragment sent to infect one corner of the multiverse. Other analyses suggest they share the same origin, born from the same cosmic darkness that spawned all evil in King's universe. Their motives align too. Both seek to corrupt reality and feed on fear until every universe collapses. It's even noted that the Dark Tower novels reference entities similar to Pennywise lurking in other worlds. Whether they're the same being or two halves of one demonic whole, this theory sees Pennywise not as an isolated monster, but the Crimson King's true smiling face. Pennywise and Mary Poppins are the same species. This theory flips everything fans thought they knew about both characters, suggesting the magical nanny and the killer clown are two sides of the same cosmic coin. Both arrive when children need them most, slipping into towns from mysterious origins, unseen or ignored by adults. They manipulate reality through imagination. Mary Poppins turns chalk drawings into real adventures, while Pennywise turns fears into monsters that bite back. Articles point out that they both reappear after long intervals, roughly 25 to 27 years apart, as if following the same natural cycle. They even share tools of flight and temptation. Mary descends from the sky clutching her umbrella and balloons, while Pennywise's balloons float up from the sewers, drawing children closer. Each uses song, rhythm, or dance to charm their targets, one to inspire, the other to terrify. Their symbols mirror each other too. Mary's paper kite saves Georgie Banks, Pennywise's paper boat destroys Georgie Denbrough. The theory argues that they're emotional predators of opposite alignments. Mary feeds on joy and laughter to restore balance, while Pennywise feeds on fear to destroy it. Both bend the rules of reality, and both vanish once their energy source is spent. In short, they're cosmic siblings, one guardian, one devourer. Pennywise and Killer Bob are the same entity. Yet another theory that compares Pennywise to another cosmic being from a different world, but I promise this is the last one. This theory argues that the demonic clown from Derry and the possessing spirit from Twin Peaks are two faces of the same cosmic predator. Both feed on emotional suffering. Pennywise devours fear while Killer Bob consumes pain and sorrow, and both use human hosts or shifting forms to channel that hunger. In Derry, Pennywise manifests as whatever terrifies its victims most. In Twin Peaks, Bob slips into Leland Palmer, power to commit atrocities and feed off the agony that follows. Their chosen hunting grounds are eerily alike too. Quiet, isolated towns where evil festers beneath the surface. Each returns in cycles, awakening after years of dormancy as if bound by the same rhythm of corruption. Some note this idea even notes how both originate from other dimensions, the Macroverse in King's lore and the Black Lodge in Lynch's, suggesting they may come from the same interdimensional layer of existence. Both entities manipulate human perception, twisting reality until victims can't tell what's real. Fans imagine them as cosmic siblings, splitting across universes but driven by the same appetite for torment. Whether it's lurking in sewers or hating behind a mirror, the same force might be smiling back, wearing a new face and whispering the same cruel jokes. Pennywise is a Wrinkle in Time's villain. Okay, one more Pennywise comparison, but really this is it. This theory argues that the cosmic evil haunting Derry and the mind-controlling entity on Kamazotz are one and the same. Both are literally called It, and both exist as disembodied forces feeding on fear, conformity, and despair. In Madeleine L'Engle's story, Ikra appears as a massive brain that hypnotizes children into submission, draining individuality from everyone it touches. In Stephen King's world, Pennywise uses illusion and terror to do the same thing, bending victims to his will through fear instead of order. Fans point out that both creatures rely on manipulation. One makes kids chant in unison, the other makes them scream. They also share an obsession with youth, targeting children because they're easier to control. The theory goes deeper, suggesting that Pennywise could be the physical avatar of Langley's IT, a body that the formless evil built to manifest in a human world. The glowing deadlights mirror the pulsating brain of Kamazotz, each representing a hive mind darkness that seduces and consumes. The crossover idea fits perfectly within King's cosmic mythology, where entities drift between universes. Maybe Pennywise is the same old brain wearing a smile, trading hypnotic rhythm for a red balloon. Either way, both creatures want the same thing: total domination through fear. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.